So if I want to lose 40 pounds, I should go on a diet, right?
Nope. UCLA researchers found that diets have a 95% failure rate. That ain't how you're gonna lose weight, man.
Okay, so how about exercise? That's good for me, right?
Well, okay, exercise is healthy, but studies show that it makes you hungry, and some people even put on weight.
Oh, so how about those new weight loss injections? They're good, right?
Well, apart from the laundry list of side effects, most people immediately gain weight when they stop the injections. Dad of 3, Christopher Albright, lost 59 pounds without diets or workouts, and he ate what he wanted to.
Yes, you heard that right.
I lost a shocking 59 pounds of ugly, thick fat from my belly, back, neck, and face, and changed my life forever.
Going from this to this. Without a second of restrictive dieting, workouts, injections, surgery, or pills. After years of failure with diets and workouts, giving me rock-solid confidence along with new strength, high sex drive, and toned hard abs for the first time in 22 years. Increasing my energy, supporting a new healthy heart, arteries, cholesterol, and blood sugar, and injecting the steamy passion back into my love life.
Leaving friends, family members, and my doctor in complete shock and desperate to know my secret. And that's not all. My wife Amy transformed her entire life too, dropping an outrageous 2.7 pounds the first night.
She's down an astonishing 42 pounds and she can't believe it. She's toned and beautiful and turns heads wherever she goes. She's feeling so full of confidence, her skin is glowing, and she looks 10 years younger than her real age. And it's all down to an ancient Japanese water method used for centuries by the longest living, slimmest community on the planet.
I lost 33 pounds in just a few weeks, and it was actually enjoyable. I feel so much better about myself, and I'm staying this way. I call it my fat-burning water, and I sip it every morning.
I couldn't believe it at first, but this 7-second water ritual helped me drop 27 pounds. I feel much better, and I keep on losing weight. I do it every day as soon as I wake up, and it is so easy.
I'm down about 35 pounds and I feel a whole lot better. I wish I'd known about this years ago, and I am shocked more people don't know about this water ritual in the US.
I was skeptical about this, but I'm happy to say it works way better than I expected. I dropped 55 pounds and I've stayed slim ever since. I love this water ritual, and I have more energy than I ever did before.
No diet has ever worked for me, but this Japanese water method was completely different. Not only did I lose 43 pounds, but I've kept it off ever since without any effort. I never expected this at my age.
You'll be blown away when you see this fat melting solution yourself. It comes from deep in the Japanese mountains, and it's been completely unknown until now. You may feel skeptical. Maybe you think you'd know about this if it was so good. I completely understand, because that was exactly how I felt.
Then I saw the rock-solid scientific research by Harvard Medical School, Johns Hopkins, Tufts University, and others, which proves why this fat-burning water is so powerful. I tried it myself and watched it dissolve fat from all over my body and go on to do the same for 194,984 others, who lost an average of 26.4 pounds. This unusual fat-burning water has never been reported in the US media, yet it dissolved every last inch of our unwanted fat after our doctor told us we were finished and would need side effect filled medication for life. And even if you tried and failed for years with diets and workouts, this ancient Japanese water ritual will transform your entire life too. Your new lightning fast metabolism will be burning up everything you eat and more. Even pizza, pasta, burgers, donuts, and ice cream.
You may think you've seen it all before, but I promise you, this time it's different. It's brand new and scientifically proven. It's so new, the scientific proof hasn't been reported by the US media yet, even if it's a huge breakthrough in Japan. Watch this short video until the end, and I can show you how powerful this fat-burning water is, as well as the rock-solid scientific proof behind it.
In a moment, I'll also reveal the real root cause of weight gain, which according to new research from International Journal of Obesity and University of Copenhagen is nothing to do with carbs, sugars, a lack of exercise, hormones, gut, sleep, or anything you've ever heard before. Instead, it's something completely different, which you need to target as soon as you can, because it only gets worse as you age. Listen closely, because you'll be speechless in a moment to see the dirty truth they're trying to hide about the dangers of new injectable weight loss drugs and how big pharma Pharma stole the formula from deep in the Japanese Alps. I'll also reveal the dangers the diet industry is trying to hide from you and how their methods are secretly causing long-term weight gain in millions. But the good news is, you'll see how this amazing 7-second water ritual erases the root cause of belly fat and dissolves the most stubborn, thick fat from all over your body. It doesn't matter if you're 35, 55, or 75 years old, if you're a man or a woman, or how out of shape you are. What matters is, it works. So if you're tired of the failed diets, outdated advice, and of weight loss products, remember one thing: it's not your fault. When you try this 7-second water ritual yourself, not only do you wipe out this little known root cause of belly fat, you activate an internal fat burning mechanism which burns a pound or more of stubborn fat in a day like hot butter in a frying pan, allowing you to enjoy the lightning fast metabolism and unlimited energy of your younger years, lubricating your joints, tightening your skin, boosting your health markers, firing up your sex drive.
Stick around for 3 minutes to see more amazing things that happen when you try this fat-burning water yourself. I'll show you how to make it as well as the science behind it revealed to me by a whistleblowing maverick doctor from overseas. Are you ready?
We don't have much time. The weight loss pharmaceutical complex are aiming their lawyers right now so they can issue me more legal threats. This short video could be removed at any moment, so watch until the best part at the end. I love helping people out, and I can't wait to help you out too. You'll feel amazing after shedding 20, 30, 40 pounds or more. Imagine feeling lean, toned, and fresh as you check your slender body in the mirror, wearing your favorite clothes, and feeling so confident in front of people. Imagine the stunned looks you'll get when people see you at social events. You'll be enjoying delicious foods and laughing at your doctor's astonished face when he sees your impressive health report.
Before I show you how this fat-burning water melted 59 pounds and saved my life, I should introduce myself. My name is Christopher Albright. I live with my wife Amy and our 3 amazing kids outside Athens, Georgia. Our story is a familiar one. We met at high school, fell in love, and got married in our 20s, and soon had our wonderful kids.
I trained as a combat medic. It was my dream job, helping the people who risk their lives every day so we can sleep safely at night. But when I was 34, I tore my knee and had to take a desk job in medical safety. That was when the weight started piling on fast. I gained 30, 40, 50, then nearly 60 pounds on my belly, back, neck, and face. It was embarrassing, especially as I used to have a lean, athletic body my wife was proud of. Folks I hadn't seen for a while would do double takes at me, and some would gawk at my belly fat in shock. People would stare at me when I ate at our local Mexican restaurant. My clothes stopped fitting, and new clothes looked like garbage on me. I got overlooked on promotions at work. I started snoring every night and got terrible back pain. My doctor got mad at me about my heart stress and erratic blood sugar. He wanted me on medication for life. All the while, Amy was gaining weight too. She used to be slim, sexy, and proud of her body. But after 3 kids, she wasn't the same and her old tricks didn't work anymore. She gained 20, 30, then 45 pounds of fat. She hated her clothes and feeling invisible, like nobody noticed her anymore. She got frustrated. Her jeans made her butt look big and she missed how her body used to be. You need to get your blood pressure and blood sugar under control or it's a lifetime of heart problems and medication, Dr. Sanders warned us. He told us to try diet and exercise.
If you've ever been given this advice, you know how ridiculous it is. You go on a diet, you lose weight, then you gain it all back and more. You try again and the same thing happens over and over. You feel guilty, like it's all your fault.
We didn't know any better, so we tried keto, paleo, low fat, low carb, fasting, and detox. We did Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig. We lost a few pounds, but the weight piled back on if we ate pizza just once. We did workouts too, but after 2 months, we lost no weight whatsoever and we had stabbing knee pains. We did exactly as doctors told us. And now we were fatter than ever before. So believe me, I know how it feels to be frustrated about your weight. I get it. Heck, we even stopped date nights because Amy couldn't stand the way she looked. She turned off the lights at night to hide her fat. We never made love, and it seemed all we talked about was our problems. I loved my wife no matter what, but our intimate life had become non-existent. We were so close to separation. I found our youngest Lucas crying on his own one day. You never smile or laugh anymore, and it makes me sad, Daddy, he cried.
It was a knife through my heart. I was failing my family. My doctor was recommending weight loss injections. They cost a fortune, but I was desperate enough to try anything, so I gave it a shot. Days later, our worst nightmare came true at our daughter's 8th birthday party.
It was a beautiful summer day and there were plenty of kids, relatives, and parents who'd come to enjoy the party, but I felt sick just looking at a hot dog. Then suddenly, I collapsed, vomiting on the floor in front of all of our guests. Kids were screaming, adults were in shock. Thank God my military buddy Pete was there. He put me in recovery position and called 911. I'd suffered stomach paralysis and bowel obstruction, which caused me to collapse, vomiting, and pass out. I found out later these are known side effects of those nasty weight loss injections. Other side effects are diarrhea, nausea, blurred vision, kidney failure, gallstones, and stomach paralysis. I felt lucky to be alive. Maybe God had other plans for me. But when I woke up with tubes and drips in the hospital, I was flooded with guilt and shame. What kind of man was I? What kind of example to my kids? I'm praying to Jesus for you, Daddy, my boy Lucas told me bravely. I know he will save you, Daddy. I know it. I couldn't hide the tears in my eyes. I was lying there helpless and fat as a whale.
I was furious at myself for believing the doctors in the weight loss industry. Their fake diets, meals, and injections had done nothing but get our hopes up while we got fatter and sicker each year. What Dr. Jeffries told me next shocked me to my core.
Being overweight is worse than smoking 40 cigarettes a day, he said. You're 60% more likely to have a heart attack. You have a 31% increased risk of dementia. You're 90% more likely to get high blood sugar, which leads to limb amputation and blindness. It's like you're hanging off the edge of a cliff top and you could lose your grip at any minute. You're clinging on with your fingertips now, Christopher, but unless you lose 50 pounds of fat, next time you won't be so lucky.
It hit me like a ton of bricks. This was no joke. It scared the heck out of me, but now I'm kind of glad for it because it made me determined to win, to beat this thing.
That day, I hugged Amy like I never had before. As she cried, I cried. I told her I love her forever. I told her we'd fight like we'd never fought before and we'd never ever give up. Deep down, I felt something was going to happen, and I was right, because soon, this brush with death would lead to the incredible fat-burning discovery I'm going to tell you about right now. That month, I headed to Asia for work. My first stop was Tokyo, Japan, where we attended conferences about medical research and the future of obesity drugs. It was standard stuff, but 2 days before leaving, one doctor gave the most interesting talk I'd ever seen. His name was Dr. Hiroshi, and he'd won many awards in Japan for helping the Japanese become the slimmest, longest living, and healthiest people on the planet. Obesity in Japan is 10 times lower than in the US. The average Japanese woman weighs a mind-blowing average 42 pounds less. They live on average an astonishing 10 years longer than Americans. That's amazing. But in the alpine region of Nagano, people live even longer than the rest of Japan. Nagano men and women have the longest life expectancy in the world, and almost nobody is overweight. Japan sees Nagano as the best model for optimal health that could exist anywhere, and it was all down to a fat-burning, herbal water people over 35 would drink each morning. Dr. Hiroshi explained how this ancient herbal water had been used for centuries, and for years, nobody understood why it was so powerful. But recently, a little-known study by International Journal of Obesity revealed how it helped people burn fat around the clock, all thanks to one key ingredient. Since the truth came out, pharmaceutical giants have been trying to copy the formula to sell it to Americans, he said. They'll change the formula a little, patent the medication, and mark up the price to flog it to overweight men and women. That's how they charge $1,300 a month for their treatments and make a fortune in profits. I looked around me and noticed some big pharma executives shifting uncomfortably in their seats. I had to speak to Dr. Hiroshi and find out more. I searched for 30 minutes before I finally found him sitting outside the hotel cafe. I told him about my weight struggles, our marriage problems, and how I woke up in the ER after taking weight loss injections. Please help us, I told him. I'm at the end of my rope. Dr. Hiroshi looked at me carefully, then smiled. The truth is, Christopher, the real solution for obesity is well known in Japan, he said, but it's been hidden from the American public. Visit Nagano tomorrow and I'll show you what it is. Was this really true? I researched Nagano that night and found medical journals reporting that Nagano's the longest living region in the world. Nagano people have the lowest rates of heart disease, stroke, erratic blood pressure. Obesity is so rare, most people don't have a word for it. We all know Japan is the slimmest country in the world, where women are on average 42 pounds lighter and live 10 years longer. But Nagano's the slimmest, longest living region in Japan. This was incredible stuff. So early that morning, I was on the train to Nagano. As Dr. Hiroshi showed me the sights, I admired the beautiful buildings, the stunning mountains, and deep blue lakes. Women looked young, slender, and beautiful. Men of all ages were lean, strong, and sharp. Nobody had belly fat like you see in Western countries. As we enjoyed our delicious lunch, I noticed the restaurants and cafes were full of people enjoying ramen noodles, fried chicken, and rice. They were scarfing down huge plates of carbs and fried food. Then, Japanese ice cream for dessert, even drinking beer. Everyone looked slim, young, and toned. There's not one overweight person in this city, yet they're eating carbs and ice cream every day, I told Dr. Hiroshi. Whatever you're doing here, we desperately need it in America too. What he said next completely blew my mind, and it will yours too. So pay close attention to this part because it's exactly what you need. I'll show you how to use the Nagano drink to burn off all the fat you want, he said. But first, you need to know the truth about belly fat and the obesity epidemic. If you're overweight, it's not because you're weak or lazy. It's not because you hate working out, you eat too much carbs or sugar, bad genetics, or anything else they tell you. Americans diet more than any other country, yet they're still the most obese in the Western world. Americans exercise more than any other nation on the planet, yet they're still the most overweight. Americans eat less carbs, fat, and sugar than 10 years ago, yet US obesity rates are still shooting up faster than ever. Why? It's because diets and health foods are making the obesity crisis worse, not better. Diets slow your metabolism to a crawl because your body switches to survival mode. This was important to our ancestors because it helped them hang on to their body fat to use as energy during times of famine or scarcity. But being stuck in survival mode causes long-term weight gain. As studies from UCLA proved, diets have a 95% failure rate or 99% according to other studies. Up to 83% of dieters end up heavier than before they started their diet. What's crazy is they're pushing the very methods that cause long-term weight gain. So no wonder America is the most obese country in the Western world. If you think that's bad, look at the whole grain industry. US dietary guidelines recommend that Americans triple their consumption of whole grain foods, and doctors tell their patients to eat them every day. But when Harvard researchers compared the nutrient composition of 545 grain products, they found that those labeled with the whole grain stamp contain more calories and sugar than those without the stamp. The Harvard professor said some whole grain foods can increase hunger and the risk for diseases related to insulin resistance like diabetes and heart disease. The truth is, the whole grain industry is one fake health food racket. These foods can even cause oxidative stress, a deadly internal irritation. Harvard research found that oxidative stress damages DNA and leads to type 2 diabetes, dementia, atherosclerosis, and metabolic failure over time. But when you think US dietary guidelines are mostly financed by big pharma and big food lobbies, it makes sense why they want us to be fat and sick. It's like leaving a fox in charge of the chicken coop. So how about weight loss injections? Apart from the risky side effects, as soon as you stop the injections, the rebound fat comes back with a vengeance, even worse than with the diet. Plus, you risk stomach paralysis, and nobody wants to take weekly injections for the rest of their life. So don't feel bad you tried and failed to lose weight. It's not your fault. You were given wrong advice. That's all. And the good news is,